Don't write anything. To make sure that you are ready. Shall I do the wiggle or you want to do a hybrid dance?
Wow.
Okay. Can you all like loosen up a bit? Okay. Okay. I'm gonna have to ask you to do something different today. Tolong pandang kawan sebelah. Ya, berpandangan. Kalau tak ada kawan belakang. Pun boleh. Okey, tolong pegang pipi kawan macam ni, macam ni. Tengok teacher buat. Macam ni, ni. Pegang, tekuk sikit. Tekuk manja. Not too hard. Bukan, bukan. Tekuk. Macam ni. Tekuk manja dong. Okey, dah. Sudah tepuk, dilempar pula. Okey, take a deep breath. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Again, siapa tak buat alik lam-lam dosa. 1, okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Yang tengah makan jangan hold, lari sikit. Yang tengah makan je, One last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. Hold. Okay, so saya serahkan teknik sidang, saya serahkan kepada dua acara untuk slot kita yang seterusnya. Please enjoy and this slot is also live stream, okay?
Alright.
Okay,
terima kasih Puan Mazlina. Okay, energizer tadi kan. Okay guys. Okay, pelajar-pelajar yang dikasihi semua. Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Dan selamat sejahtera semua. Yes, okay, thank you. Okay, saya yakin, penuh percaya dengan anda semua. Nampak muka semua bersedia sangat sekarang ni. Okay, sangat fokus. Rasanya 150%. Boleh ke? Okay, tahniah sekali lagi. Anda dah sampai ke petang ini. Okay, untuk slot yang ke berapa? Yes, yang keempat. Okay, jadi bersama-sama dengan kita, okay, penceramah kita, Cikgu. Okay, Cikgu Bobby. Cikgu Bobby Chan Zing, okay, dari SMK Taman Nusa Jaya. Okay, selamat datang Cikgu. Okay, terima kasih dapat datang ke Dewan Hotel Malaysia pada hari ini. Alright, okay, jadi saya perkenalkan dahulu. Okay, Cikgu Bobby Chan Zing ni, okay, berpengalaman mengajar selama 23 tahun. Okay, jadi satu tempoh yang lama. Okay, jadi banyak input ilmu yang kita semua, okay, boleh cungkil, dapatkan. Kita ambil kesempatan ni, okay, kita dapatkan sebanyak mungkin ilmu daripada Mr. Bobby. Okay, jadi beliau juga seorang JU SPM Bahasa Inggeris, okay, di peringkat PPD Johor Bahru. Okay, seterusnya sebagai panel perunding mata pelajaran Bahasa Inggeris SPM PPD Johor Bahru. Okay, jadi ambil peluang petang ni, okay, dalam tempoh yang tak lama pun, 2 jam sahaja kita dapat bersama dengan Mr. Bobby. Okay, jadi tanpa saya melengahkan masa lagi, dengan ini saya mempersilakan Mr. Bobby Chan Zing untuk meneruskan sesi pembelajaran kita hari ini. Dipersilakan.
Terima kasih Wakil Cikgu Jaja. Right, so good afternoon. Is it afternoon or evening? Which one? Evening. Okay, right, how are you? So you've been listening to your slots in BN for the whole day, right? Since morning until now. So your slot now will be in English. So how excited are you? Why? Is it because of your exam? Your exam is coming very soon? Okay, so I understand that you have finished you have just completed your SPM trial, right? So you know your results? You know why you're here? Okay, so I was told that you are the near Miss Cemerlang batch. So you may have been, you may have scored very well. So there might be just little things that you have to actually top up. Okay, things that you need maybe a little push for you to improve yourselves to get an A. Can I see the show of hands, please, for those who have obtained A plus? Those who have obtained A plus in your exam, English paper. Okay, very good. Congratulations. Okay, how about those who have obtained solid A's? Solid A's, very good. Okay, now A minuses. Okay, so right, so that proves the point. You are here because you are the excellent students. Okay, so our focus today will be on writing paper, which is your paper 2. Okay, so what do you know about paper 2 so far? What is your problem? What is your problem with paper 2? There are 4 things we look at, right? Okay, so the 4 things we look for, the things the teachers have always been writing down on your papers, is C, C-A-O, and L. Okay, so that will be the 4 things we go back to every time. The 4 things that we have to score every time. So for instance, okay, this will be the score for A minuses. I guess I can skip because you are way beyond this really. But you know your target, right? I think most of you want to score at least an A plus. Correct? Yeah, you want A plus, okay? You want the solid A plus in your hands. Okay, so let's go into the 4 things first. Content, the communicative achievement, then you have the organization, then you have the language. I'm very sure teachers have implanted in your minds over and over what you have to do, okay? So I will focus on the 2 last things, the 2 last criteria, but the first 2 I will just go through very briefly, yeah? Okay, you can have a look at the screen. So as for the content, it's very easy. The C, normally you can score for C because it's very simple. It refers to how much you fulfill the task. How much did you actually complete the task? For example, if you are supposed to give advice, you have to give advice. If you are supposed to give reasons, you have to give reasons. So in this case here, your answers cannot be touch and go. Okay, I see some students, sometimes the script is still touch and go, especially with good candidates. This problem happens with extremely good candidates sometimes. Sometimes if the question is, where do you think we should go this weekend? What is your answer? If I give you the answer, let us go somewhere interesting and fun where we can relieve our stress. Is that really answering the question? No. Very good. Because you need a very concrete answer. Where? There should be a destination. What do we do? Let's do something interesting. Let's do something that can help us build our bodies. Are you giving the actual word there? No. So there should be a proper word. For instance, let us go to the gym. Let us work out. Let us run. Let us exercise. So the keywords must be there. So problem with excellent students sometimes is they don't like to go straight to the point. They will beat around the bush. They will give something hidden here and there. But in English, it's very straightforward. How are you? I'm fine. Okay? What should we do? Study. What should we buy? A bag of fruits, for example. Okay? So that will be under content. Okay, also, if there are things that you leave out, for example, if there are 4 bullets, you only answer 1 bullet, so of course, marks will be reduced. Okay, and if there are actually 3 bullets sometimes, you only answer 2 bullets, so marks will be reduced. So you have to make sure you answer every bullet or every content that is required in the exam. Okay, so also misinterpretation of the requirements will cause to lower marks here. So be careful with words such as local, okay? Because in some cases, there will be questions like local tradition, local food. But if you mention bibimbap, is it local? If you mention chicken chop, is it local? Are you sure? Are you sure chicken chop is not from Malaysia? Chicken chop, is it from Malaysia? It is from Malaysia. Okay? So, laksa Sarawak, laksa Johor. So these are the things that are local. Okay? So be careful with the word local, foreign, and so on. Okay? And sometimes you have to look at the keywords such as culture, cultural. Okay? So there are some keywords that good students sometimes they somehow overlook because you read too fast. Sometimes when it's the end of the exam, you're like, alamak, there's one word here I missed out. So before you actually begin writing your essay, look at the keywords first. Make sure you highlight everything that is required. Okay? Next, we move into your CA. So when you talk about communicative achievement, you cannot run away from the fact it's about communication. So there will be two things or two people or two readers you are communicating with. So in the email, for example, if you're writing to your friend, so the reader will be one friend. Communication must be established. Okay? And do not forget the presence of your examiner. Examiner is also there. Okay? So what do we mean by communication here? So first of all, is the text the right type? Okay? So for example, if you are writing a report, and if your report sounds like this. Last Sunday, 20 students from SMK Taman Jaya went on a very happy trip to the zoo. Okay? It was early in the morning, the birds were chirping, the sun was shining, and the breeze was rustling, or the leaves were rustling in the breeze. Does it sound like a report? No. So when the genre is incorrect or inaccurate, marks will be reduced. You have to make sure report is a very straightforward thing. What happened, when did it happen, who went, and so on. Go straight to the point. Okay? Same thing goes for a review. So if you're doing a review, if you're writing a review, you have to make sure you are actually reviewing something. You are not telling me, last Sunday my father and I went to Mid Valley South Key. We saw this extremely beautiful bag. It was so lovely and so cute. I fell in love with it at first sight. So does it still sound like a review? It sounds like a story. Okay? So when that happens, marks will be reduced by a bit. Don't worry, you won't get 0. Okay? So the marks might just go down by a little bit. So next one, we look at the register. Okay? So under CA here, we look at the formality. Is your script very formal or informal? If you're writing a report, should it sound formal or informal? Formal. Okay? Then how about the tone? Is it very sarcastic, very demanding? Can you tell your friend, dear Alia, you are studying in the N classes. I think you are very weak in your mathematics. You have to work very hard. You have to be like me. How does it sound? What will happen if you're Alia? You feel like kicking your friend. Just now you slap your friend, right? So just now you slap your friends, okay? So if that happens, your friend will feel very hurt. Same thing goes when you are writing a report. If you're asking for something for your school, can you tell your principal, dear sir, you are the principal of this school. It is your duty to make sure we have healthy food in the canteen. Can you instruct your principal? No, the tone is wrong, okay? So be careful with that. And if you're writing something, a story, it sounds, okay, like last year's question, there was an article. Let me just share this with you. So there was an article in one of the questions, and it was supposed, the candidates were supposed to write something on maybe a picture, okay, a picture. And then the title is actually, the question was supposed to be an article, but if it sounds too much like a story, okay, so the content, the CA will also be a bit incorrect there, okay? So next one, we move on to another CA here, which is the function. So what is the function of your writing, your essay here? Okay, so if you're writing a review, what's the function? You are supposed to convince someone to go somewhere. Okay, for example, if you're reviewing a hotel, how good is the hotel? How comfortable the hotel is? So are you able to convince someone to stay in the hotel? Or if you are reviewing a vacuum cleaner, okay, so how do you actually convince someone to buy that vacuum cleaner? Okay, also when it comes to reporting, the function of a report is to report what happened in the beginning or what happened on that day. Okay, who were involved, what happened, what did you learn? So that will be under the function here. Okay, next one, is the reader's attention held? Especially if you're writing stories. How many of you here love writing stories? I think most girls would love writing stories, right? Now, only 2, 3. The rest of you, 4, 5. 6. Okay, few boys, very good. So if you are into writing stories, not a problem. But you have to make sure your story is very catchy. From the very beginning until the end, examiners or the readers will have this element of suspense. Or we want to keep reading, okay? People who read, they will want to keep reading. Wow, okay, this is what happens. Okay, I never thought of that. Okay, oh, wow, this is another twist to the ending. So if you're able to do that, you're able to capture the attention of the readers, it will be a merit there. Okay, it will be something, a wow factor. Okay, and next one. How intelligent are the ideas? Okay, now, excellent students, it doesn't mean if your idea is something very big or huge, it's intelligent. Sometimes a very small idea can also be very intelligent. Okay, so are your ideas explained clearly? Are your ideas intelligently explained? Let's look at one sample here. Okay, simple idea. I like painting. Is it very simple? Yes. Second one, painting outdoor is always fun. Is this still telling you that I like painting? It is still telling you I like painting, right? It's just that I'm putting it in another way. Third level, abstract way. Painting opens a whole new window to life. Is this still telling you that I like painting? Yes, exactly. So you have to know when to use the more abstract one, when to use the less abstract one. For example, in email, people, email is a very straightforward thing. You are writing email in how many words? 80 words. Do you have to write very long? If your email is too long, it is no longer an email, it becomes a letter. Okay? The function of an email, electronic mail, is very short, concise, precise, it goes straight to the point. For example, this weekend, let's go to the zoo. I want to take pictures of some animals, okay, because I want to do a scrapbook. Straightforward, okay? So very simple. I like painting. I want to do that, okay? But if you're writing the third essay here, can you ask very simple questions? You can. Let me bring you to one of the textbooks unit, okay? So if you have questions like, now I think some of you that you use questions to begin essays, right? You will use questions like, do you know what social media is? Is it a good question? Yes. Okay, some say yes. Now, if the question is on social media, some people write, have you used social media applications before? Is that a good question? Is that an intelligent question? Okay, now let me rephrase the question. Let me give you another question. Have you ever thought how social media has changed the lives of teenagers in these recent years? So, do they have similarities here, the two questions? One is of a higher level, right? Now, that is what we call rhetoric questioning, okay? Rhetoric questioning that makes people think. So, the first essay question, simple. It is holiday, I want to go to Pulau Pangkor, let's go there together, straightforward. But the third question, you are supposed to ask something that can trigger people's minds. For example, don't ask questions like, do you know pollution is dangerous? What kind of question is that? Even budak tadika, they can tell you they know, right? Even kids can tell you, yes, I know pollution is dangerous. But you are going to ask questions like, to what extent has pollution affected our health? Okay? So, to what extent? People will be thinking, okay, I've never thought of that. Which is why, if you're writing a report to your principal, you won't be saying, dear sir, do you know students need conducive environment to study in? Do you know we need tables and chairs? What will your principal's response be? Of course I know, I'm the principal. Why do you tell me that? Okay? So that is what we call the intelligence of ideas here. So the better or the more intelligent your questions are, they will trigger people to think. For example, have we ever thought of how online shopping has shaped or reshaped the lives of people nowadays? So that will be higher level of thinking. When your questions are able to trigger people's mind in the essay, it means your level of intelligence is higher. Even though the question is simple, shopping, pollution, theft, okay, or crime. So, have we ever thought to what extent cyber crimes have changed the lives of teenagers in schools in this last recent years? So some questions like that will help people to really sit down. Okay, I've never thought of that. It's a very interesting question. Okay, right. So let's move on. Okay, very simple question here. This is under CA also. I think some students might have seen this before. So my school teachers are not as good as other school teachers because they are not understanding and kind. What do you think of the CA here? Can you condemn your school? Can you condemn your parents? Can you condemn your teachers and so on? No. Okay? So do not write something that is not that good. Okay? You cannot say my parents are not good parents compared to my friends' parents because they are not understanding. Okay? So we don't write like that. Okay? One more. So as the mayor of this town, it is your responsibility to make sure the town is clean. Can you instruct the mayor? No. How do you want to advise someone? How do you want to recommend or suggest something to someone to do something? You learn this in a textbook also. Okay? So later I will show you. Okay? So one more. Dear lovely mother, I think I will buy my lovely sister, your loving daughter, a new watch as a gift. What do you think of this? This is one example of not straightforward. Sometimes Malaysians love the word lovely so much. It was a very lovely morning. My lovely mother cooked lovely breakfast for me in the lovely kitchen. Okay, it becomes so dry. Why do we love the word lovely, happening so much? It's very happening. Everything is so happening. I once came across an essay. Everything was happening in the essay. My friend was happening. The event was happening. My teachers were happening. Everything was happening in the story. Okay? So, this is one example of not straightforward. You have to go straight to the point. Okay? Sometimes. Okay, next one. This hotel is the worst. The service is horrible and the rooms are for animals. Can you write this? No. Now, how do you want to say something is not good? For example, how do you want to say your school canteen is not very good, but you want to comment? Okay. So let's look at this one. Anyone? Can anyone give me one example? For example, you want to say that your school canteen is not very good, and somehow you want it to be better. Anyone wants to share an example? The ones from Seta? Anyone? Where are you? Seta. Do you remember? Yeah. Okay, good. Very good, she remembers. Oh, sorry.
So why should I say something?
The hotel would be better. For example, okay, if you're For example, if you are saying that your class is not very clean, you want to complain to your class teacher. So how do you want to complain that? Can you say my classroom is horrible, it's very dirty, it's disgusting? Okay, can you say that?
No, I can't say that. If it was me, I would say, dear madam, I am here today to inform you about the condition of the class. I am very deeply
Displeased.
I'm very deeply displeased about the condition of the class because it is very unclean. I really hope you can take action towards it because it's really affecting our studies. I hope you can consider this.
Very good. Give your friend a round of applause. Okay. Now, I really hope the word hope that. Okay. So which brings us to this slide here. So if you look at the slide here, so let me show you some examples here. Okay. So what your friend has mentioned is now is advisable, is hoped that, is recommended that. So if you want to say something is not that good sometimes in a polite way, okay, you can use all this. The hotel would be better if, or the canteen would be better if. So you are saying that something is not very good and it will be better if. So it's like a positive negative psychology here. Okay. For example, your teachers, when they tell you, you are actually not bad, you know. You are so good. You are tall, athletic, handsome, and so on. But. If you can. So that's how you make things better. It falls under communication here. You don't want your parents to come and scold you every time you're like this. See the head, the toe, the clothes, everything, your nails, your fingernails, your studies, your results, and maths. You hate that. We resent that. So your parents can tell you, see your maths so good, not bad. What a girl not bad. What? See? English 94, very good. But maths a bit lah. Can be better, right? Can be better if you can get 20 marks. 20. So we want something nice, okay, in communication here. So you can look at the sample here. So there are many ways. For example, the hotel might want to consider. So if you want to give suggestions to your school, the canteen might want to consider putting in new chairs and tables, or the canteen might want to consider adding new dishes to the menu, for example. So you can use that style. Okay, right. Can we move on? Okay, good. Now we go into organization here. If you look at your module, okay, module, content, CA, very simple, but I focus on two things here, on page 2 and page 3. Content is very easy for you to score 5, okay? So CA, as long as you follow the genre, you follow what I mentioned just now, you can easily score a 4, okay, or a 5. Now we look at organization. So why do we focus on organization so much? Okay, if you look at the first level there, linkers and connectors. Okay, linkers and connectors. Okay, before that, let's look at a few things under organization. Under organization, first you have to make sure you have paragraphing. Okay, for email, the first question, you don't need paragraphing. Okay, even though in a textbook you have 4 paragraphs for the first unit of full blast. Okay, in Form 4. But actually, in your SPM, you only need 1 paragraph for email. It's sufficient. Okay, you won't be penalized. Why? Because the box given to you for email is just 1 box. There is just that 1 box. Okay, so you can only write 80 words and plus plus. Okay, now punctuation. Make sure you are very good with your punctuation, capital letters, small letters, your full stop, commas, and so on. Okay, that will be all under punctuation. Next, we look at the first level here, the linking words. Okay, then we move on to cohesive devices. Then we move into organizational patterns. Okay, these 3 levels will be used for 2 things. 1 for your writing, 1 for your speaking. If under speaking, it will be under grammar. Okay, meaning you need to also use these 3 things in your speaking. Okay, let's look at the first one. The linking words here. So if you look at a sample on the screen, firstly, I love jogging because jogging makes me fit and healthy. I love jogging, but not swimming. So you have the firstly, you have and, you have because, you have so, you have but. So if you're only using and, because, so, and but in your answers, it actually doesn't guarantee you that very high marks. Okay? The reason being, if you have your younger sister or brother, they can also tell you the same thing. For example, Kaka, today I went with my friend. I went to school with my friend, but my friend was naughty. So the teacher scolded us. Your younger siblings can tell can use and, because, so, and but in the sentences also. Correct? Which is why if you're only using that in your speech or in your writing, it doesn't really guarantee you high marks here. Which is why it falls under 1 mark here only in organization. Okay? Now we move on to the next one. You can make some notes. Under linkers and connectors in the box here, you can just jot down and, because, so, and but. Okay? Or since. You can jot down. Very simple things. And, because, so, and but. You know this. You use them every day. Okay? First, next. So these are all very simple linkers. But when we go on, okay, so the next part, we have cohesive devices. We have 5 different types here. You have higher level linking words and phrases. You have reference pronouns. You have substitution. You have ellipsis. You have repetition. You have this. You have them in this box here. Okay. Now, the first level will be something your teachers have programmed inside your mind. Have you been using all this? A lot of people love the word furthermore, right? But be careful with the spelling. Furthermore, don't spell as furthermore. Okay? So furthermore. And one reminder here. Don't simply begin your paragraphs with furthermore. It's actually, like besides that, furthermore is actually a continuation from a point before. So you cannot use furthermore to begin a paragraph. It's not totally wrong. Okay? It's just a bit unsuitable there. Okay? So you don't begin a paragraph with furthermore. You can begin it after one statement or maybe one topic sentence. Okay, so these are the common ones that we use. Moreover, however, as a result, on the other hand, furthermore, besides, in addition, there are so many more. On the other hand, apart from that, okay, so you can put them down also. Okay, so the next one, let's look at the sample on the screen. You have reference pronouns here. Okay, the weaker one, you have I like Alice. Alice is the best. Better one, I like Alice. She's the best. Okay, so why do we focus on this? Again, I bring your little brother and sister into the picture. They will keep telling you, right? For example, Kaka, my friend Sandra is very naughty. Sandra is a naughty girl. Sandra is very noisy. I don't like Sandra. Little kids will keep repeating the things, the name, the same thing, correct? So at your level, you should be using it, she, themselves, herself, my friends, them, they. So when you're able to use this, it's actually part of cohesive devices, okay? So please use the pronouns here, okay? Same thing goes for another example. I live in Kuching. Kuching is the capital city of Sarawak. I live in Kuching, which is, so you have the referencing here, which is the man who is standing, the girl who is sitting, the car that is parked outside the block is mine, for example. Okay, so all this referencing here. One more, smartphones have changed our lives. Smartphones are popular. So smartphones have changed our lives, and this is why they are so popular. Okay, so you do have, this is the reason. Okay, this is because. Okay, now two things here. It is because, this is because, you have to know when to use which one. For example, I'm not coming to school. I'm not coming to school later. It is because or this is because? Which one? It is because. But if you're talking about something that happens now, so this is because. So your referencing has to be correct. Is it or is it this? Okay? So you refer to something. So this will be reference pronouns or referencing here when we talk about cohesive devices. Huh? Okay. So third one, you have substitution. So if you look at the example, so this will be a weaker sentence. I like shopping and my friends like shopping as well. Then you have a better one. I like shopping and my friends do as well. Okay? So the word do is used to substitute shopping as well. Okay? So there will be a few things you can substitute. For example, the word one. One in English means a person. Okay? Someone who is. One who is. So it's actually part of substitution also. Okay? For example, we have to study to make sure we get good results. One has to. So the word one here refers to a person or someone. Okay? It's also substitution. All right? So next one, the next type of cohesive device, you have the ellipsis. Okay? Ellipsis. Example, my brothers are very active in school. Both my brothers are incredibly athletic. So you can see there is some repetition here. But if you take this out, both are incredibly athletic. So you can see that the statement sounds better. Okay? One more example. I usually go to school by bus, but sometimes by car. You can see the structure. Okay? So ellipsis will be taking something out. Substitution is to replace the sentence. Replace the words and so on. Okay? Can I go on? All right. Okay. So next one will be repetition. So repetition is used to show emphasis here. Okay, examiners will know if a repetition is actually to show emphasis or if the candidate is not that well versed in the language. Okay, for example, there are students who work hard, there are students who do not work as hard, and finally there are also students who are playing lazy. Okay, repetition, when you repeat the words or maybe the noun or maybe the focus there, okay, the object is actually to show emphasis. All right? Okay, so there are 5 types here. Okay, this one will guarantee you better marks than the one just now. And because so and but. Why? If you have, okay, coming back to your adik-adik, your little brother and sister at home. Okay, your little sister will tell you, today my friend and I went to school, and besides that. Will the sister tell you that besides that? Will your adik suddenly tell you, furthermore? No, right? So that will actually differentiate your level from the kids, okay, from the kids. Because kids, they don't really use furthermore, moreover, and so on, okay? So that's why you have to use all the cohesive devices, huh? Okay, let's look at some example, one more example on the screen. So you can see just beneath the surface is a tangle of weed and driftwood where tiny creatures cling. So the word this here refers to the word tangle. The word nursery here refers to the word tangle. Okay? Next one. Left behind under the sand, her eggs stay deep and safe. Baby turtles grow inside, and before the summer is over, they wriggle. So the word they here refers to the baby turtles. The word them refer to baby turtles. Hatchlings is actually a substitution here. So in writing a good essay, you will be using all these techniques under organization. Okay? All right? So from the 1-2 level, linkers and so on, we move to cohesive devices. Now we move on to organizational patterns. Okay, I will show you 3 lines. Okay? So if you can look at the 3 lines there. Okay, one reason I like my smartphone is that another advantage of my smartphone is, but I really love my smartphone because. Okay, so these are the common things you use when you are writing an essay, correct? Okay? Now, coming back to the question here. Why teenagers love listening to music? Can you give me the answer, anyone? If this one, okay, let me just remind you, organization is very much related to your speaking as well. If the question is why teenagers love listening to music, how would you answer? Anyone wants to try? Why teenagers love listening to music? Okay, if this is a question in your ujian bertutup, your speaking test, okay, how would you answer this? Okay, right. So your friend, okay, give your friend a round of applause, please. Okay. So the word because is used. Now, if you are to analyze the word because, what is the weightage of the mark? Is it high or low? Not very high, right? Because. Okay. So if I ask you one more question, what is your favorite food, and why do you like eating it? How do you answer the question? Automatically, normally people answer my favorite food is nasi lemak because, correct? Now, how much would you score if you're only using because? Not very high, right? Okay, so this is where organizational pattern comes in. Okay? Okay, so let us look at the last box here, organizational pattern. Huh? So this is the first answer. Okay, teenagers love listening to music because, but you're only having the word because here. How do you want to improve this to get better marks? Okay, give me some points here. Okay, now you can see, okay, when you give your answers like this, it will be a bit different. There are many reasons. Can you see, is it too small? All right. Okay, so if you look at the first level here, you're only using the word because. So if you're only using the word because, the marks will be quite low. But if you do this is what we call organizational patterns, okay? So there are many reasons as to why teenagers love listening to music. You have most importantly, this one will help you to get marks. Or if you don't want to use this, you can use something simple. For example, you can use firstly, the first reason or to begin with, it helps them to relieve stress. Okay? Then you can continue. Okay, then you can have apart from that or besides that. Okay? So these will be two things that's that are very popular. Okay, apart from that or besides that, it also gives them a chance to be themselves as they can relate themselves to a lot of songs. Okay, so if you want to give answers like this as compared to teenagers listen to music because, of course, the marks will be much higher. In this case, you can see there is organization. You have the beginning, you have the intro, then you have the firstly or the to begin with, then you can you can continue with apart from that, besides that, or furthermore. Okay, then you can have the proper closure. Okay, so proper closure then. For example, last but not least. Then you end your speaking. Okay, because remember in your speaking test, you are supposed to speak in 1 minute. So if your answer is only teenagers love listening to music because it is nice or because they can relieve their stress, you only use the word because. Remember, you want to score more. You want to score more marks. So that's which is why you have to use more cohesive devices. And in this case, you upgrade to organizational patterns. Okay. So if you have any other reasons, you can you can write down your reasons too. Okay. Okay, this is for your ujian lisan, and this is also for your, if you are writing an article, you can use this technique. There is one more style, which is comparison. Okay, in your unit 4 of your textbook, you have the comparison. Okay, can I continue? Yes. Okay, now this is one more style for you to answer. A question for your ujian bertutur. Okay, if you see in the second sample there is actually a comparison. In the old days, but today. Okay, I think you've done this in in school with your teacher. Okay, in the old days people do this, but today we do this. So in a speaking test also, in a speaking test, when you are able to do comparison, is actually helping you to actually score more, to buy more time, okay, to buy more time, okay? So, second example that in the old days, many teenagers listen to music to relax themselves, but today, some teenagers listen to music for various reasons, and among them is to learn to learn a new language. Okay, so you can see, then you can continue with besides that, apart from that, and so on. Okay, what happened to most most students, when it comes to speaking, is they're always stuck. They have no idea how to continue. They have no idea how to begin. So let me sum up a little bit here from these two answers. So when you ask questions like, where do you love to visit in Malaysia? Or where do you want to visit in Malaysia and why? Okay? Do not begin with, I want to visit Genting Highlands because you're only using the word because. You can mention, there are so many places I want to visit in Malaysia, but the one place I want to go the most is Genting Highlands. Okay? So the first reason is, apart from that, in addition to that. Okay, other than that, then finally. That's how you put everything in together. And when you can use everything together, that's what you call organizational patterns. Okay? So don't use it in isolation. Okay? Can we continue? Yes. Okay, now let's look at some levels here. So if you look at a sample, so Ali is a good boy, Ali is fun, Ali is nice. So these will be all very simple sentences, simple structures. So with no linkers, no cohesive devices and so on. So you don't really get marks here, okay? But second level, Ali is a good boy and he is fun. In addition, he is a nice boy who is liked by everyone. I want to highlight the last part here. It's what we call extended, okay? Extended. So this one can get more marks here, 3 marks, for example, okay? You have the word and, you have the word in addition. You can use furthermore and so on also. And next level, to begin with, Ali is a good boy. On top of that, he is also fun. Not forgetting another fact, he is always nice to everyone. So what do you think of the three paragraphs here? Do they talk about the same thing? They have the same meaning, right? But it's just that the third one is much better, okay? So this is what we call organizational patterns, okay? Now, coming back to the two things. Okay, one more question. Why do people shop online? What's your answer? Yeah, I know, more convenient. Structure? It's more convenient.
It is more convenient because when people shop online, they don't have to go to physical stores and they can choose variety of products.
Okay, very good. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, now I want to move your when people shop online to the front. Okay, so when people shop online, that will become actually what do you call an organization pattern. When people shop online, comma, so it will become something different. Okay, rather than you put people shop online because if you only look at because and the marks will be quite low. Okay. For example, if you do this, people shop online because, you're only using because. But if you do this, there are several reasons as to why people shop online. The first reason is because. Okay, the first reason people shop online is because. Another reason they do so is, last but not least. So you can see the differences there, right? Okay, so whenever you answer, try to use this. For example, there are many types of books we can read in the market. For instance, we can read this. Apart from that, we can read that. So it will give you more chances to use your cohesive devices. But if you look at this answer here, is it very good? Can you still make it better? Let me cover this. The first reason people shop online is because. The first reason is because. The first reason is. So you have ellipsis here. Remember you copied 5 things just now, right? So this is ellipsis. Then another reason they do so, the word do so, the phrase do so is replacing the they shop online. So this will become substitution. Actually, in one way or another, you are always using this. But you have to make sure when you answer, don't keep repeating because. I go to school because. Let me ask you one more question. Why do you love your school? Anyone? Anyone wants to try? Boys? Why do you love your school?
Interacting with teachers and friends while during
Can you give me this whole structure?
with what we said.
Yeah, organization pattern.
Several reasons as to why I have school. The first reason is that I could interact with teachers and friends to discuss about small topics and to expand my social circle.
All right. Okay, your friend talk about expanding social circles and so on. Okay, so of course, okay, give your friend a round of applause, please. Thank you. Okay, so your friend mentioned there are several reasons, or there are some reasons why I love coming to school. Okay, the first reason is I can expand my social circle. So, and then of course you can continue with apart from that, besides that, furthermore, in addition to that. So, because let me tell you something, it's very natural. Because the moment an examiner asks you one question, for example, what do you eat? I mean, what do you love eat? I mean, which food? Okay, what type of food do you enjoy cooking and why? Very normal answer, even for adults. We will say, I enjoy cooking chicken rice because. But the moment you say that, you have already used the word because. Is it good? Is it wrong? It's not wrong. It's just that the quality of the sentence will fall. So if you can prepare in your mind. Remember in a speaking test, the examiner will always say, now, you have some time to think about what you are going to say. Okay? When you have that 20 seconds, plan in your mind what you want to say. For example, what do you want to be when I grow up? When you grow up? Normal answer, I want to be a doctor when I grow up because I can cure people of their sicknesses. Very simple. The answer is not wrong, but you're only using the word because, which is the problem. So how do you answer that? What do you want to do or what do you want to be when you grow up? You can use this. There are a few occupations or maybe there are a few types of jobs I might consider when I grow up. But if you want to put something before that, what do you put? What do you want to put in front before that? If you talk about, remember now I give you one more paragraph. Are you still with me, people? Yes. Okay. So if your answer is I want to be a doctor when I grow up because I want to help people, I want to save people's lives, not wrong. But there will be one. It will be only 1 mark. Okay. The answer is only 1 mark. So when you can say when I was younger, I wanted to be a soldier, but as I grow older, I've always thought of becoming a doctor. There are some reasons why I want to be a doctor. To begin with, a doctor saves people's lives. Okay? It means I will be able to save the people around me, the people that I love. Apart from that, I will also have a more professional career. Okay? So people will look up to me and I will have a professional social circle. Okay, besides that, in addition to that, finally, that's how you utilize your 1 minute, your 1 minute. If your answer is, I want to be a doctor because I want to save people's lives, that is only 10 seconds. Okay? So, there are two techniques to use when you want to answer ujian lisan bertutur. One, you can use, there are so many. For example, I have a lot of friends that I love, but my best friend happened to be who? Okay? And there are some reasons why she is my best friend until today. So you list down to begin with, or firstly, or next, and so on. If you don't want to do that, you can actually put something in front. When I was much younger, I had one very close friend. He was Ali. But as I grew older, I became close to my neighbor, okay, who happened to be the boy who sat beside me. So continue talking about that. Because in English, it's not just about responses. It's about the structure. It's about the quality of the sentences here, okay? Right, let's continue. Okay. Okay, now we are done with C, CH, and O, and then let's move on to L here. Okay, under L, if you look at page 3, we have 3 parts here in the exam. Okay, so boys and girls, can you look at page 3? Okay, under language. Okay, just now I mentioned to you, right, content, you can easily score. CA, you can easily score. Organization, 3 levels. If you can go up to the 3rd level, organizational pattern, you can score 5. But for language here, you see there are 3 parts: email, guided essay, extended writing. So what makes you different from other students? You are here because you are Cemerlang students, okay? Now, if you look at email, it uses basic vocabulary appropriately for you to score 5 marks. Okay, it uses simple grammatical forms. What do we mean by grammatical forms here? Your sentence structure. For email, it's very simple. It is weekend, let's go to school, I want to do some workout and so on. Okay, I want to study, I want to do my revision. Very simple structures you can score for email. But as you go up to second part, your essay should be using a range of everyday vocab with occasional inappropriate use of less common lexis. Okay? So less common lexis here means bigger words, more bombastic words. Okay? More sophisticated words here. Okay? In other words, they should be more thematic. Contohnya the word happy. Example, I am happy. I give you some money. Are you happy? If you score 10A plus now, are you still happy? You are way beyond that. You are overjoyed. You are exhilarated. You are euphoric. So we are looking for those words when it comes to higher essays, okay? Meaning part 2 and part 3. You are supposed to be using more accurate words. For example, are you sad if it rains? If your shoes are wet, you are sad, right? Okay? But if something bad happens, for example, if someone breaks up with you, how would you feel? Are you still sad? You are broken. You are shattered. You are crushed. Okay, correct. So the words will be different, okay, for every level here. Now in part 2, you also use a range of simple and complex grammatical forms with a good degree of control. But let's move on to part 3, okay, extended writing. Part 3 will be your article, your report, then your story, and your review. So uses a range of vocabulary, including less common lexis appropriately, uses a range of simple and complex grammatical forms with control and flexibility. So you can see, people, if you want to score 5, 5, 5, 5, and when it comes to 5 for language here, your language should actually elevate, okay? The structure should actually improve. So let's look at first example here. Melly walked to school. Her cat walked along with her. Now we are putting everything together. Huh? All right, so let's look at number 1 here. So Mary walked to school, her cat walked along with her. So for language, we're looking at the quality of the sentence. How good do you control the sentences, or how well do you control the sentences, or how good the sentences are? Okay, so Mary walked to school, you can actually see the word walk is repeated here, correct? Okay, and then you can see I put 2 things here. One is compound, one is complex. So what do you mean by complex structure and compound structures? This one is a simple structure. Mary walked to school is a very simple structure. Let me give you the example first. If you write this, If you write Mary walked to school and a cat walked along with her, this one will be a compound structure. Okay? First level is simple, second level is compound, third level is complex. But if you refer to the marks here, for the third part, we want more complex structures. So in bagian 3, in your report, in your article, we want more complex structures here. Let me give you one example. So as Melly walked to school, her cat walked along with her. So the second sentence here will be a complex structure. Okay? So of course the complex structure will give you more marks. Okay? And if you have learned this now, the word substitution, the word walk. Can you change the word walk? What do you change it with? You can use a simple word, went along with her. Okay, went along with her. So when you can do this, is actually substitution. You are actually improving your sentence structures. From simple sentences, you upgrade it to compound structures. Then from compound structures, you upgrade it to complex structure. Okay, so this is where it completes your C, CA, O, and L. And why we focus on the O and the L is because of this. You want to score the O and L. Okay, next one for number 2. The woman crossed the street, a car knocked her down. Very simple. If you put one but here, if you put one and, it becomes a compound structure. Okay? But how do you make it into a complex structure? I give you 30 seconds to try. Can someone come to the front and try? Okay, can I have someone to come and try the compound, someone to come and try the complex? Anyone? Any volunteer people? Want to try? You want to try? Sure. Just type on. Okay, anyone? Anyone else? We have a volunteer, very good. Okay, you can sit down. Are you writing a compound or complex? Oh, complex. Complex, okay, never mind. No problem, okay. So your friend is writing, the woman was crossing the street when? All right, okay, good. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, anyone for the compound structure? So compound is very simple, huh? You can use and but. That's what you see. And but, if you use them, it becomes a compound. Ali and Abu, okay, very compound. But if you want to score more marks for part 3, you will need more complex grammatical forms. You need more complex sentences, okay? A few more examples, one more example, let me just give you one more example. Okay, so this will be complex as well, okay? So when the woman was crossing the street, a car knocked her down. Okay, I'll let you try number 3. Cecilia is an only child in the family. She's a spoiled child. So remember, there will be more structures than just when and as. Okay, so Cecilia is an only child in the family, in her family. She's a spoiled child. Anyone wants to try? Boys? Want to go to the front and try? Anyone, boys? Anyone? Ladies? Anyone? Girls from here? Okay, I hear something good. Go. It's okay, never mind. Just go there and brainstorm. It comes to you naturally. You want to do complex, right? Okay, being the only child in a family. Okay, so Cecilia is a spoiled child. All right, very good. Give your friend a round of applause. Thank you very much. So good. So this one is a complex structure here. Being the only child in a family, Cecilia is a spoiled child. Can you take out something? Can you just write Cecilia is spoiled? You can, okay? It's not wrong. So this one will have ellipsis, meaning you are throwing away something. So Cecilia is spoiled, okay? So if you want to make a compound, Cecilia is an only child in the family, and she's a spoiled child, that will be compound structure, okay? So let us do one more before we move on. Okay, number 6. I want something higher level. You have seen something like this, right? So number 6, I give you the word despite. Right.
Can you change the words?
Okay, your friend has a question. Can you change the words? Yes, you can. Okay. I want to remind something. People, can I have your attention for a while? Remember, in English, especially in speaking, if you want to get 6 marks, you have 6, 6, 6, 6 for speaking, right? So there will be one part telling you that you cannot keep repeating the words used. For example, in the question, for the third question, you have the bubble map, correct? If in the bubble map it's written there, ways to study to become, or maybe ways to be an excellent student. You can repeat. There are some ways we can practice to become an excellent student. Okay? One way to become an excellent student is, if you keep repeating that, it means it shows the examiner you don't have many words in store. Okay? So what you do is, you have to come up with your own words. You are supposed to be able to compensate the structures with using your own words. For example, ways to excel, ways to succeed, ways to ace the exam. So when you can do that, it shows the examiner you can get 6. Are you with me? Yes. Which is why we change just now. Like the word went along. The cat walked along with her. The cat went along with her. Or the cat followed her. Okay, the cat accompanied her. If you have a lot of words. Guys, can I have your attention for a short while? The word teenagers. If in a question given to you, the word teenagers is being used, do you keep repeating teenagers are, teenagers should, and so on? Change. Teenagers can be changed to, can be substituted with young people, adolescents, very good. Young adults, youth. What else? Do you use youngsters? Yes. So which is why in your exam, when you are writing, don't keep repeating teenagers, and so on. You can change young adults could also, okay? And in some cases, adolescents. But as long as the meanings don't change, you are on the right track. For example, the word excel, ace. What else do you have? Succeed. What else? I want to ace my exam. I want to excel in my studies. Pardon?
Score flight. Score flight.
Pass with flying colors. Yes, right. Okay, right. Pass with flying colors. All right. So you do have those kind of phrases. So remember, if you want to get 6, 6, 6, 6 for your speaking test, you cannot keep repeating the circle there. You cannot keep repeating the bubble map. You have to use your own words. Okay. For example, the word shop. What else comes to your mind? Shop. I want to shop for something. I want to buy, very easy. Purchase, very good. Make a purchase. What else? Acquire something. I want to acquire a new bag. Okay? So if you are able to use all these different types, different levels of words, you can score better, better, better. Okay? Much better for your vocab. All right. Now, coming back to this one. The word despite is given to you. How do you want to improve? Anyone? Any school? Right, very good. Where are you from? Pardon? From Technique, very good. Okay, please come to the front. Are you doing number 4? Okay. Even though exciting can be exciting. Okay, change a bit. Even though, 2 words. Exciting can be, you don't need this, can be exciting. It can also be. Okay? Be, yes, exhausting. All right, good. Congrats, thank you. So, you have, even though exercising can be exciting, okay? It can also be exhausting. So changing the word tiring to exhausting. Very good, okay? So can we try number 6, the one just now? The word despite, I'm giving you the word despite, anyone? You want to try, come? All right, okay. Let's look at your friend's answer. Give your friend a round of applause first. No worries, no worries. Okay, your friend wrote, despite making plans to go shopping, they failed. Okay, right, they failed to do it. Right, anything else you want to change to improve? It's not wrong. Despite having made plans to go shopping, okay, they failed to do it. The word it is given, so if you can change to do so, okay, you are actually substituting it. All right? Okay, so very good. The rest you can try on your own. Okay, so far any problem? We have covered the C, CA, O, and L. Remember, C content is very simple. CA is very simple. When it comes to organization, there are 3 levels. You have to upgrade the levels. From linkers, you continue using cohesive devices. From CDs, you use organizational patterns. Then in your language here, let me come back to language for a while. Language, it means 2 things. 1, your grammar. Grammar will include your tenses, present tense, past tense, prepositions, your phrasal verbs, okay? Now, if you refer to every unit of your textbook, you have a lot of phrasal verbs. You don't say, I am very friend with my friend. I am very friendly with my friend. I am very close to my friend. Is it wrong? No. But if you can say, I get along with my friend in your unit 1, is actually phrasal verb. Okay? For example, I put down the books. If you say, I extinguish the fire, I put out the fire, both are equally good. Okay? So phrasal verbs will be very important for you to score as well. Now, from grammar, we move on to your sentence structures. You have 3 kinds of sentences. 1, simple sentence. Okay? I stand, I am standing, you are sitting. Compound sentence, I am standing, you are sitting. Then complex sentence. As I am standing, you are sitting. So 3 levels of sentences here. Okay, now for the first one, for your email, you can use simple structures, some compound structures, no problem. If you refer to the scoring here. Okay, but as you go up to extended writing, the third essay, you need to be able to use a range, meaning more complex structures, okay? More complex sentences. So this is where it comes in, okay? Now, let's move on to the next one. You have the next page. Are you okay? Are you very tired? I know, yes. Okay, so this will be part 3, extended writing. So you have an article. So you see this notice on the board outside the school library. Articles wanted cyberbullying. So what are the forms of cyberbullying? Why should cyberbullying be stopped? How can we deal with the problem? Okay. Okay, right. So how do you normally begin this kind of answer? I mean, this kind of essay? Question. Okay, let us jot something down here. Okay, so if you say question, how do you want to write? What question can you ask? How do you begin this question? I mean, the question for this essay. All right, so your friend has given one answer. Have you ever thought to what extent has cyberbullying affected teenagers nowadays? Very good. Now, another way to begin your introduction. Can you give a scenario? Scenario will be simple nowadays. In these recent years. What else? Of late. Okay, what else can you write? Many people love this, right? In this era of globalization. But do you love to use this? Because it sounds very technical. Okay, actually there are many things, many ways you can begin. You can use in these recent years, you can use of late, in this era of globalization, or in this era. Okay, depending on the question. Okay, now, another way to begin. So one more way to begin. Research. Okay, or statistics. So remember, when it comes to research or statistics, do not lie so much. You can give a very, very vague data. Okay, so how do you give? According to research. Don't give very exact detail. For example, 96.7% and so on. It's too detailed, okay? Now, how do you want to talk about data here? Okay, now, talking about research here, can I have your attention 10 seconds or 15 seconds? When you talk about data, okay, data. So sometimes don't generalize, okay? So I think I've given, let me give you one example. Can I make one statement? Boys are lazier than girls. How about if I tell you, girls are very difficult people? You disagree, right? And then you agree, disagree, right? You disagree to agree, right? Okay, now. So sometimes do not generalize. You cannot say lady drivers cause accidents. But you can say in some cases, more lady drivers cause accidents. So in that case, you are not hurting anyone. Okay? Also, you cannot say teenagers are addicted to social media because not everyone is addicted. So you can say in most cases or in many occasions, or nowadays, most teenagers, some teenagers, a lot of teenagers. So do not generalize things here. So in this case, if you refer to the research and statistics here, if you put more than half of at least some, you are safe. Okay? You don't have to give exact details there. Okay? Right. So you can say more than 50% of teenagers are bullied on social media. Okay. So another way to begin. Facts is statistics, really. Very good. Okay, definition. So definition, do you have to say from Oxford Dictionary or in Oxford Dictionary? No, right. So how do you begin? How do you give definition here? Okay, so you have definitions such as this. Cyberbullying refers to the act or the cases where a person or someone is harassed in the virtual environment. Okay, so it can be a very general definition here. And one last one, you can actually use a comparison. Okay, the one I mentioned just now. Okay, so comparison here. Many years ago, so this is in your unit 4, huh? Many years ago, but today. So these will be some ways you can actually use, okay, practice to begin your essay, to start your essay. So in the old days, there were very few cases of bullying online, or online bullying. But in the recent years, these issues have escalated. Okay, so these will be some ways, a few ways you can actually use to begin your essays. Okay? Okay, so let's do this together. Okay, so which one do you want to use? You can have introduction, the first paragraph. Do you want to use the definition? Cyberbullying. So, for example, you can use cyberbullying. So, cyberbullying refers to the act where a person or where someone is harassed in the virtual environment. Okay? So, So I'll let you continue. Okay? I give you the word increasingly. So cyberbullying refers to the act where someone is harassed in a virtual environment. So this is becoming increasingly what? Worrying, good. These days, as why is it becoming more worrying? Is it because a lot of people are using it? Is it because more teenagers are using it and so on? So how do you want to write that? I give you 1 minute to write the introduction. You might have different ideas you want to share. So nice. Okay, how many words do you have to write for your introduction? How long should this essay be? This is the third essay, right? The third part, extended writing. So you're supposed to write within 200 to 250 words, correct? Okay, assuming you have 5 paragraphs, you have introduction, you have the 3 points, you have 1 conclusion. So how many words do you have to put in for every paragraph? 50 words per paragraph, okay? So it's sufficient. So in this case, you have cyberbullying refers to the act where someone is harassed in the virtual environment. So this is becoming increasingly worrying these days as why? Anyone has continued or has anyone completed this sentence here? This line? Then? Oh, sure. So this is becoming increasingly worrying these days as why. You can put down the points where a lot of youngsters, including children, are exposed to technology, okay? Or you can even talk about the gadgets that they use. For example, they have more access to gadgets such as the laptops, the phones, and even tablets. So I'm giving you some points where you can jot down. Okay, you talk about people. People as young as as a young child, even children, or even teenagers. They have the access to a lot of things, a lot of gadgets, technology. Okay, so everything is no longer restricted nowadays. Okay, so as both the young and old have access to gadgets such as mobile phones and tablets freely. Okay, so what else do you want to put in? It can be anything. Even a young child has a social media account. Okay, even a young child has a social media account. What do you have? Let's see what your friend has. Okay, with the advancement of technology, we have cyberbullying has been increasingly worrying as it makes its victims take drastic measures. Okay, you do have some points here. So when they go through it, just to make it stop. Okay, some points here. Maybe some restructuring will help. Okay, so let's see your point. This is becoming increasingly worrying as these days as a plethora of youth are engaged in the usage of technology and gadgets, which is why they are exposed to this critical issue. Okay, this is good. All right. Anyone else? So your friend used the word expose. A lot of teenagers are exposed to this issue. Anyone else? Boys? Not yet. Okay. Okay, anyone wants to continue this paragraph in front? Let's see what you have. What do you have? Anything? What do you have? Do you want to go and type down? Can you go and type in? Yes. What do you have? Okay, all right. They have been exposed. Okay, both can be accepted. Yes, you can. Your friend wants to delete. So your friend has written, this is becoming increasingly worrying these days as plethora of youth. So the word plethora here, do you think is suitable? Plethora means a lot. Means a lot. But for people, maybe you want to narrow down, maybe as more youth, something simple. So can you change this to more youth are engaged? More youth are engaged. Okay, right, good. Okay, give your friend a round of applause. Good. They are engaged in the use of technology and gadgets, which is why they are exposed to this critical issue. Okay, so it's enough. It's sufficient for you to continue the next paragraph. Okay, now we are done with introduction. Let's look at the first point. What are the forms of cyberbullying? So, forms, the different types of cyberbullying. So how do you want? Do you just want to do listing? Okay, give me the different types of cyberbullying, please. Pardon? Hate comments, hateful comments, hate comments. What else? Huh? Body shaming, very good. Body shaming, hateful comments. What else? Pardon? Racism, racial remarks, racial comments. What else? Vulgar words, correct. What else what else, can you think of? Pardon? Gender war. Is gender war cyberbullying? Yeah, can be, okay? Vulgar words. Then you have racial remarks, okay? What else do you have under cyberbullying? Do you make memes of your friends? And you laugh at them? Okay? You make your friends into stickers. And you share them around the school. How could you? Poor friends. Okay, now, okay, but if you're only listing down, can you actually elaborate a little bit more? For example, give a definition, or give meaning to what you are talking about. Okay, how do you want to continue this next paragraph? So, the forms of cyberbullying, okay, there are various types of cyberbullying. That have been identified. Okay, so one of them. So this is what we call organizational pattern. There are various types of cyberbullying that have been identified, or that we can list, or that we can identify. One of them is body shaming. Okay, or if you want to make it more dramatic here, one of the most common form is body shaming. Okay, so how do you want to explain this? This refers to, or this means, or this is the situation when what? When who? Who do you call these people online? Online community, keyboard warrior, what else do you have? What else do you have? Users, netizens. Do we have the word netizens? Okay, you have to check. Okay, netizens. Wait, let me check if it's accepted in Oxford first. Okay, what happens, guys? What happens if you are not sure if the word is accepted? So you try to rephrase. Maybe you can say internet users. Okay, why internet users? What? Make fun, very good. Or of a person's figure, or very good. Okay. Okay. So I'll give a few more examples because you're talking about the forms of cyberbullying. Okay, so jot this down. Okay. So other types of similar bullying are what? So we have discussed that just now. Yeah, making slur remarks, making racial comments, or making fun of somebody's name, okay, or making fun of somebody's picture. You can jot that down, okay? So that will answer bullet number 1. Are you able to complete that bullet number 1 on your own?
Is it possible if we change the internet users become haters?
Internet users become haters. It means something. Accept it. Yes. Okay. If you see, okay, your friend asked one question. Hello, can I have your attention? Remember, we talked about cohesive devices, right? So there are 5 types. So if you refer to this word here, where's my pointer? The word this is a reference. Okay, so this is a reference pronoun. I mean, it's a determiner here. It's under, which is, this one is actually used also. Okay, and then if you see this level, you don't have furthermore, moreover, and so on. Not obvious yet, but if you can see, if you can see, there are types of this one. Then one of the most common. So it's actually organizational pattern. So remember the three levels: linkers, cohesive devices, organizational pattern. So if you're at the third level already, you are covering everything. Okay? All right? Okay? So what do we mean by organizational pattern? It means you are using everything here. Okay? So sometimes it's not very obvious. But if you want to put this in, yes, you can. You can throw some cohesive devices in here. Where can you tambah? Where can you put them in? You can put them here. For example, in addition to that, okay? So you can see this. This one is actually a reference also. When internet users. So this one is actually referencing also. This one is actually organizational pattern also. Okay. In addition to that, this one will be a cohesive. Okay. So don't worry, we do have a lot later. We will have a lot later. Okay. So other types of bullying are what's the word, suitable word here? The word vulgar. The word spitting is too informal. Making vulgar remarks as well, or maybe vulgar words. Okay? Right. Okay, so this paragraph will be sufficient. Okay? Next, we look at bullet number 2. So why should cyberbullying be stopped? So how do you construct a complex sentence here? If you write cyberbullying remember, if you're writing this, you are only using the word because. So how do you improve the structure? How can you upgrade the structure? Can you use the word since? So since this is a serious matter, or since this is becoming more serious, okay? Okay, so this, since the cybercrime can lead to harmful consequences, it should definitely be stopped or should be curbed. Okay, so why? Why? What is the reason? So give some reasons here. What will happen if this cyberbullying continues to happen? Mental distress, right? What else? Suicide, correct? Some people may take their own lives. What else? What else? People will lose confidence. What else? Okay, so we will continue to have negative society, for example. Okay, we have enough. So we can jot down a few examples here. So it should definitely be stopped. Okay, so give some reasons. So how do you continue? How do you want to talk about it brings mental distress or it brings depression? If, okay? Or maybe a victim. Diagnose. Okay, easily fall into. Okay, so a victim of this crime can easily fall into depression, and he or she could even be suicidal. What else? Just want to mention. What else would happen to a victim? Anxiety. So it's actually depression also. Okay, so even the simplest of negative okay, so you have complex structures here. So since the cybercrime can lead to harmful consequences, it should definitely be stopped or curbed. So a victim of this crime can easily fall into depression, and he or she could even be suicidal. So even the simplest of negative remarks could lead to anxiety and sleepless nights. Okay? So, anything else you want to add here? Do you want to put some coercive devices? For example, what else can I put in? What's the word? At the same time, if nothing is being done to control this, our society will become more what? The word used nowadays. Toxic, very good. Okay, will become more toxic. So at the same time, it's actually a cohesive here. Okay, now we have sufficient input for the next paragraph. So we are coming to the last point. Okay, the last content point here you have, how can we deal with the problem? So normally it will always be problems or issues, the reasons, then the solutions. Now solutions here. How do you want to have a very nice organizational pattern for solutions? Can you straight away write in conclusion? I won't say it's wrong, but it will become not so organized. Okay, you can use this. In order to deal with this problem, okay? But the word deal with comes from the text. Solve this problem, overcome this problem, okay? Or you can use another way to overcome this problem. Okay, so these will be the organizational patterns for this part. In order to deal with this problem, or in order to solve this problem, or to overcome this problem or issue, what can be done? So what are the things we can do to overcome this issue? I give you about 2 minutes. Can you think of the issues? Not issues, the ways, okay? The solutions.
Can we say that parents should keep an eye on their
Good.
children's online activity?
You want to go up to the front? Anyone wants to go and come and type?
What message should change their attitude
Okay, through what? How?
to become a better person so that this cyberbullying is not
Okay, all right. Okay, now guys, okay, in any issue, how do you solve it? One, normally you can use the same thing like Bahasa Melayu. You can always have campaign, correct? Campaign to do what? To raise awareness, very good. Okay, on the use of technologies maybe, on the use of online applications and so on. Then what else? Just now your friend mentioned. So from campaign, you move on to parents. Parents should monitor, okay? School teachers should educate. How about yourself? You have to be more aware also. So be careful also. So normally in any kind of situation, pollution, you can have campaign, reading, you can have campaign, okay? Cyberbullying can have campaign, drugs campaign, exercise can have campaign. So anything can begin with a campaign. So how do you write it down? Okay, so is it relevant? So in order to deal with this issue or to overcome this issue, first to begin with the government, okay? The government can organize a suitable or relevant campaign to raise awareness among the internet users. If you want to write net users on the dangers of cyberbullying, okay? Other words replace the word dangers, the harms, okay? The harm of cyberbullying or the negative results of cyberbullying. Okay, then you can continue with apart from that. If you have not used in addition to that, you can use in addition to that. If not, you can use apart from that. Besides that, furthermore, moreover, everything can be put in here. Okay, so apart from that, parents play an important role to monitor their children's activities online so that they will not fall victim to these cyber bullies. Okay, is this sufficient for the third point? Yes. Do you need to have a conclusion? Actually, this one you can stop here, but it's still a bit hanging. So I would prefer if you can have one conclusion, because when you have conclusion, you get to use the concluding words, okay, the concluding cohesive devices. For example, so you can use all this, either one of these, one of this set here. So to conclude, or in conclusion, or to sum up, or in brief, What can you write about the conclusion? Okay, you can write any kind of conclusion. Okay, for example, in brief, I like the phrase in brief actually, right? So we are living in a digital era, and there are many dangers that might come our way in the virtual platforms. Okay, so what else do you want to tell your readers? Always be prudent, okay, or wise when going online, and be on our guard at all times. Okay, so this can be a very simple closure, okay, a very simple conclusion here. So I believe some of you may have different types of conclusions and maybe different types of points, and of course there will be no harm. Okay, there's no harm if you have different types of answers. Okay, so let's go through this whole essay for a short while, very quickly. You have the introduction. Then, if you are to look at the C, so content here, has it answered every bullet? Every bullet. The 3 bullets have been answered, correct? Okay, are they relevant? The points relevant? Yes. Now, CA. Does it sound like an article? Does it sound like a discussion? Okay. Is it very straightforward? Okay, do you have to go around, beat around the bush before coming to the point? No, right? Okay, you know the problem, you know why, then you know how. So everything is answering the CA very directly. How about the organization? Do you see the use of linkers? And because so and but, they are always there. Okay, how about furthermore, moreover, in addition to that, then in conclusion to conclude? You have some there. Remember, you don't need to have them everywhere. As long as examiners can see traces of them here and there, it's enough. But organizational pattern would mean something beginning until the end. You have to organize the points, okay? So you are putting everything together very nicely for an essay. Now, how about language? Language. We look at the grammar first. Grammar, I think nothing much to discuss. Okay, how about the vocab use? The vocabs, how about the vocabs given to you? Do they make you think of something digital? For example, the word body shaming. Is it relevant to cyberbullying? Yes. Digital, cyberbullying. Virtual platform, cyberbullying. Okay. Monitor, guidance, parents, society. So all these words are relevant to cyberbullying. Okay. So vocab-wise, yes. Next, we look at the sentence structures. Okay, the structure of the grammatical structures here. Do you have simple sentences there? Yes. Do you have compound and because so and but? Yes. Do you have complex structures? Yes. Okay, so that will be the things you have to look for. Let me just take 1 more minute before I take my leave. It will be the same thing when you are speaking in an exam. So even as you are speaking, you have to make sure you are using the 3 types of sentences or so. Okay? You need to be able to construct complex sentences even as you speak. For example, if the question is about extreme activities, you cannot just say, I like extreme sports, I like bungee jumping. Bungee jumping is fun. No. You need to have some complex structures. For example, there are many types of extreme activities, and one of them is, okay? And since I love bungee jumping, I always go overseas to do so. So your complex structures must come out for you to get 6 marks. All right? Okay? Do you have any questions so far? No? Are you very tired? Okay, right. So if there are no questions, I wish you all the best in your exam. Okay, especially in your SPM, of course. Okay, do the best. Okay, make your school proud of you. Make your parents proud of you. Make your district Johor Bahru proud of you. Okay, and make sure all of you can score A plus in every subject. I wish you all the best. Okay, thank you very much.
Alright, thank you very much. Okey, tanya semua. Okey, berjaya sampai ke jam 6.35 petang hari ini. Okey, jadi sebagai tanda penghargaan dari Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Johor Bahru, saya mempersilakan Puan Khairia binti Muhammad Fauzi, Pegawai SISP Plus Bahasa Pejabat Pendidikan Daerah Johor Bahru untuk menyampaikan tijil kepada Mr. Bobby Shalting. Dipersilakan. Terima kasih ucapkan kepada Puan Khairia atas kesudian menyampaikan tijil sebentar tadi. Okey, sekali lagi sama-sama ucapkan terima kasih Mr. Bobby. Okey, semoga jumpa lagi. Okey. Alright, okey, semua okey lagi ya? Okey, alright. Okey, jadi hari ini saya